All right, we're recording. Looking down my old Instagram feed at the moment. Let's go way down. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Look at these. Look at those flares. My God. I used to take a lot of flare shots. Rays. Oh, and here it changes. You can see there. Where it changes into like more faded, more neutral colours. Another flare there. Nice. Look at these tones. Damn, this looks sick. Maybe I should go back to these sort of tones. Okay, this is great. This is going back in time. This is where I used to like do the crazy edits. This is like 2015 California. Look at this. Really turquoisey, like aqua skies, like the kind of movie edit you see. Look at this. That looks dope. Very, very bold edits. Still a lot of saturation, so much colour. Crazy colours. Yeah, so my kind of feed used to be very colourful. And as we go back up now, it starts to get more desaturated. When my new kind of editing style came in, with more fade, more kind of neutral colours. So, hello guys, welcome to another video. I think this video is kind of overdue now from my YouTube channel because I made my YouTube channel mainly to kind of show like the behind the scenes of my Instagram and kind of Instagram in a whole, like how Instagram works behind the scenes and what goes on behind all the pretty pictures you see on Instagram accounts, right? Yeah, so that was my old account, just going through back and looking at kind of the different themes I've had throughout the years. I mean, I've had that one for about 4 years now, that account. And obviously you guys know I've made the new one. But let's talk about theme, right? I think that there's two things. Let's scrap that because there's a lot of things to go through here. Keeping a theme on Instagram, right? Okay, so if you're starting out, this is important if you're starting out. Pick a theme that you like, okay? Make sure it kind of you're gonna be happy with that theme. You're gonna stick to it. So back to my old account now. I used to change theme like every month. I used to go with a highly like saturated theme, and then this is the thing. People saw that, right? And they were like, oh my God, this is awesome. You're posting really nice edits. I love your tones and all this. Something that I always typically do, I let it get to the peak, right? So at the peak, it can be like smashing it, putting out bangers every day, keeping the main theme together with the highly saturated, we'll talk about saturated here, highly saturated photos that I used to post, getting good engagement, nice likes coming in, good respectable comments on my photos, and then I would just cut the theme. So like stupid, I would just cut the theme, and then next day I would say, hey guys, I'm trying out a new style. Ugh. I used to do that pretty much every single goddamn month. And I was so like inconsistent in sticking to one theme. And I think that's important if you're starting up on Instagram, because say you got like 500,000 followers, yeah? You can post whatever the fuck you want. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about if you're a new photography account and you want to start up an Instagram page, theme is very important to kind of get your Instagram to kick off in a way. Right, okay, let's talk about the main basics of the photo. By that, I mean like exposure, contrast, saturation, clarity, and tone curve and stuff like that. Color, let's leave that for a minute, okay? So let's talk about the basic kind of build of a photo. I'm gonna pull up a few accounts here on Instagram, which I follow. So the first guy is called Jude Allen. Epic feed, by the way. Such like really bold edits. He's in San Francisco, California, and he takes pictures of the Bay Area. Also, he travels, blah blah, all this like typical Instagrammer, right? If you look at his feed right now, if you go through his feed is very highly contrasted. It's got huge vignettes. It's got a lot of saturation, big kind of blacks. Also some fade on it as well. So if you go down his feed, you can see, even though there's different variants of color here, he uses the same basic look throughout his photos. No matter if the photo is blue or pink, he uses the same basic. So like you can see, it's heavily contrasted in this photo with huge blacks and highly saturated. And then you move over to the next one. It's got the same kind of look, right? It's got the same kind of deep blacks, faded blacks, high contrast, and loads of saturation, right? And throughout it's kind of the same exposure. So this is a very key thing. It doesn't matter so much about color. As long as your basics are there and they are the same, you're going to have a consistent feed on Instagram. Let's use another example here. Let's go to this guy, Brandon Willoff. Well, I don't know how to say his name. This guy is epic. I mean, he posts, all his photos are portraits, which is really cool on Instagram because normally portraits don't get that much kind of engagement. But this guy, he posts portraits all day, every week, and people really, really love his stuff. So as you can see, very, very colourful here. But as you look at his photos, he's got this kind of blue undertone, blue mask over his photos. They've all got a little hint of blue, right, in his photos. And kind of the aqua kind of colour and the turquoise kind of colour. And also, if you look at his photos again, with the same basics, it's the same kind of exposure, same kind of fade and blacks going out through the photo. But there's almost a different colour in every single photo, right? So this is why I'm talking about basics so much, is because if you got your basics nailed, you can pretty much throw in any colour you like. But bear in mind, the colour has to kind of go with the other colour. I know it's strange, and this probably doesn't really make sense, but if your basics are there, and you throw in a blue colour, and the next photo you post is orange. Blue and orange kind of go together, they're a nice contrast together, so that's going to work. Say if you put like pink and then green, it's gonna look okay because you got the basics there, but the colours are kind of clashing. So make sure you got colours that go with other colours. So let's go back to basics and have a look at a few of my photos here. So this is a photo of my dog and a nice little trail, and it's foggy, right? And I've got the next photo is my bro holding a Super 8 camera. Same day, same kind of light and fog, right? So let's look at these two photos. They look very kind of similar within the basic, right? So they've got kind of high fade, nice kind of highlights going through. The saturation is kind of the same, and it's got kind of a vignette to it. So if we go over to the developing side of Lightroom, you've got your color here first. So as you can see, this one is around 5,000 temperature, right? The next one is 5,300, so not a big deal in it. I want it slightly warmer in this one because you can see this nice sun piercing through the fog there. Going back, the tint is about the same, +6 compared to +10. Exposure, exactly the same. Highlights and stuff, this is more highlighted because it's got a lot more blacks in this photo, and it was kind of dark there anyway, the exposure when I first took it. So I brought up the highlights quite a bit there. Shadows, you can see, pretty much identical there. Blacks, I like to push the blacks right up in my photos because it gives that more dynamic range within the blacks. If you still fade it, you can still see the detail there. If you do it the other way, as in black and more shadow, as you can see, it kind of ruins the photo. So high blacks is probably better than going high shadows. Clarity is down. I always put clarity down, so it's a lot softer image, identical on each photo there. And this is important, this is the big one, right? Tone curve. So you can pretty much do these up here. You kind of can do a tone curve there, but it's much easier to do tone curve here. If yours doesn't look like this though, it's because of this button here. If you click that, then it will become this one. You can't change that, you can only change these things. So click this one, it's a lot easier to work with. So you click there, and then you can move the highlights around, you know, to whatever you want. And then this is the shadows, or kind of midtones, and you can pull them down or whatever you want. And this is the kind of blacks here. You can have it very, very faded like that, which looks kind of ridiculous, or you can go right down to how it was normally exposed through the camera. And I like to kind of bump it up, so you've got a little bit of fade there, like that. Go to the next one, you can see tone curve is pretty much the same. I like to kind of keep this S here, kind of like a subtle S going through here. So that's got it, this one's got it, this one kind of similar, but that one's not really finished. This one, same with the S. This one, same with the S as well. So yeah, I think that's very important to keep your basic on point when you're editing. Now let's kind of go into color, right? This is so, you can literally pick any color you want, but make sure if you're going to go with cool kind of colors, you stick with cool colors. If you're going to go with warm colors, stick with warm colors. But then again, as I've done in the past, I've posted like kind of a cool color in the highlights and then kind of a warm color in the shadows. I mean, that's a very nice contrast to have. What I mean is when you've got a cool tone in the highlights and a kind of warm tone in the shadows, that's split toning. That's different to say like the temperature of the whole photo. So say that this photo right here, if I decide I'm going to go with warm tones, right, like that, okay, and then the next photo, this is going to be really cool. And you're going to have two photos like this. I mean, it's a bold way of editing. Say if you post more warm photos, yeah, people are going to expect that from your feed. And then say if you throw in completely different edit with a different basic and a completely different color, people are going to be like, what? What's this? And that happened on my old account when I said I changed styles way too much. So I was at the peak of my editing style. It was going really good, and I decided to change. People didn't mention it, but I could tell, you know, he was getting less engagement, and like, oh, I thought this was the account that posted this. That's another thing I want to talk about. So that's kind of the annoying thing about Instagram. When Instagram started, it kind of used to be like you can post whatever you want. Either it'd be a selfie, and then the next photo would be like a landscape photo, and you'll get love for both of them. But now Instagram, like it's people want to follow account. I think the majority now, people want to follow accounts because they want to follow a theme, right? They want to follow that kind of style, and if there's another style they want to follow, they follow another account. There's no one account that can do every single style out there. So it is actually very important to stick with a style. It can like be very annoying at times because you do want to change up your style. It's okay to do that, but don't like go the complete opposite to what you've been doing. Maybe try out a few different colors and stuff, but always maintain the same basic. You're going to get more followers to your Instagram, and they're going to expect that from you. But the thing is, you have to be content with it. You have to be happy with it. Say if you're posting something, and you've been posting it for a while, and all these photos, and you're not quite happy with them, it's going to make you mad, right? It's going to piss you off. Remember to, if you're going to pick something, pick it wisely, and know you're going to be posting the same kind of style in 6 months down the road or something like that, okay? This is to do with basic, right? Colors, you can throw in different colors how much you want, because obviously in winter you're going to get snow, in summer you're going to get green, and in autumn you're going to get oranges and stuff. The colors do change throughout the year, obviously, but basic is very, very important, I think. So to help you guys with this, in Lightroom, if you edit in Lightroom, you can save presets, right? Easy thing to do. Once you've edited a photo, you can go over to the left-hand side and click the little plus button, and you can name your preset and create, right? Go on to the next photo and paste it on. And there it'll have your same kind of basics. I do recommend, like, because every photo is different, I said this in my Q&A, I don't use presets when I'm posting on Instagram, because I know kind of by heart what my kind of basic is with the tone curve and all this, and I like to change a few colors throughout the photo, so I don't just put on the preset and then post. There's obviously other things you have to take into account, the different colors and the light and stuff. But if you want your same basic on each photo, you can make a preset with only the exposure tabs, and then paste it on the next one and continue with your colors. Also, this is a good tip. There's a quick collection here. What I do with all my stuff I've taken, so I import it from a hard drive, and then the photos I like the best, or which I'm going to post on Instagram, they will be quick collected, favorited, so they go in a separate kind of folder in Lightroom, and I mimic my feed on this page. So as you can see, it's like Instagram 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You got the 3 grid thing going, so I can choose how I want my feed to look before it's posted, right? I think that's quite cool. So that's the thing to help you. Also, if you edit in other apps like Vosco, Snapseed, you can copy edits as well. So this is Vosco here. So if you click a photo and you go to the 3 dots at the bottom there, and on there you can copy edits, which is right here. I think there's a lot of ways to explain how to keep a consistent feed on Instagram, but they were just my kind of main points that you have to factor in if you want to keep a consistent feed, if you want to grow your photography account, if you want to be approached by brands and stuff, and they know that's your style and it's a very unique style, you're going to get respect for it. You're going to get more followers, you're going to get more growth into your account, and yeah, your account will grow if you stick to a good theme. So yeah, those are my kind of key factors, if you know, for the editing side, right? There's obviously way more to do with what you actually post. Say if you live by the coast, you're going to be posting a lot of kind of coastal shots and stuff. if that's what you're into. And yeah, and if you post food, whatever it is, remember to always mix it up. Don't post the exact same composition and exact same subject next to each other. Kind of mix it up with kind of either a portrait or a different angle of something, and or like a bird's eye view, or anything to kind of mix it up. Don't kind of post like the same exact picture every single time, like those selfie accounts you see. So there you go, guys, my kind of key tips to maintain your Instagram theme. As you know, I've got 2 Instagram accounts now. If you want to follow them, links will be in the description. And yes, guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next one. Goodbye.